Okay, let me make sure it's recording. All right, now it's recording. All right, one thing that I really want to do the rest of the semester is let me do 3 or 4 examples before you ask questions and shoot your hands up into the air. I think you saw how well it worked for the review, because what will happen is if I do one example, and it's not just you, it's typical for a 9th grade class, mostly in math. But you have all these questions in your brain that you want to ask that are legitimate questions. But if we spend 30 minutes on one problem, you won't get the body of knowledge that you need. If you just trust me and let me keep doing examples, and then did y'all see I would pause and say, what questions do you have? You will get a chance to ask your questions, okay? But no need to even raise your hand. I'll pause after every 3 or 4 things and let you ask questions. And you'll trust me, okay? All right, so on the first page, I'll hand it right back. Y'all can copy some down. Okay, girls, I think Margot is our go-to person for this. Margot, what is always our first rule of factoring?
Take out what's in
Oh, I'm so proud of you. Great. Okay. Always, you'll be sorry if you don't do this. Take out what's in common. Now, it's real unusual for me to take a whole slide and pick out a person for the next 4 years, for me to walk up in the hall or in class if I have you again, which I hope I do, and say, what's the first rule of factoring? I obviously do it so that you remember it and you don't forget it. Because then we go on and learn all these other methods for factoring, and people are like beating their head against the wall trying to factor something when they didn't do the first thing they should have done. If you take out what's in common, all of a sudden it might be easier to factor. If you don't take that thing out that's in common, it can be very difficult. So every single time that you try to factor, you look and see. It doesn't have anything in common. It's a quick check, okay? And y'all had that little exercise where you got in groups and found 2 or 3 things you had in common with each other, okay? Please don't forget that. So just hear Margot in your head, take out what's in common. Girls, you can't imagine the places you're going to use these in the next few years. So remember that. One thing that you're doing when you factor is you're really looking for the zeros, or a word you're good at now called the x-intercepts. And so I'll embellish that and build on that later. All right, so let's all close our computers so that I know you're really focusing on your packet. All right, so our first rule of factoring is always to take out, a couple of you, I think Bella said GCF, the greatest common factor. Take out as much as you can, all the numbers and letters that you can. I think we've done the whole first page, but let's drop down to number 9. Number 9 is 4b cubed plus 2b squared plus 8b. Okay? You can have b's, x's, a's, or whatever. So I'm going to work this one. This is number 9. I think you've worked the whole page, and maybe I can call out the answers or something if you need me to. I see that 4 and 2 and 8 all have a 2 in them, so I'm going to take out a 2. They also all have a b. So I'm going to slow down because I was trying to really get this in and also re-reviewing it at the same time, okay? If you all had, if all 3 people in your group had a dog, then let's say if it was Margot and Ella and Evelyn, okay? And I don't know if they all had a dog. I don't remember what they had in common. But if they all have a dog, you know what I did? I went over here and I go, what did you have in common? Do y'all remember that day? And then they said, we all have a dog, or we all have a sibling. Okay? So if Ella's the one that reported it to me, or Evelyn says we all have a dog, then I'm going to go, oh, well, Evelyn's the only one with a dog. I mean, she has a dog and she has a dog, right? But you see, they said at one time, we all have a dog. So I know Evelyn has a dog, Ella has a dog, Margot has a dog. Do y'all see what I mean? Okay? So when you pull it out, it's like you're telling somebody we all have it. All of us have a 2B. And then you write what's left, okay? And then you can check it with distribution. What's left if you, oh, by the way, when I say take it out or factor it out, you're dividing it out. Do y'all see I'm unmultiplying? Which is division, right? Do y'all see I'm undoing it? And it looks so algebraic it can be confusing. So I'm going really slow now and super teaching this as we head into factoring. And by the way, I know that most of you have factored, if not all of you, with different teachers. I'm going to act like you've never seen it before. And as same thing with FOIL and boxes and all sorts of methods that people may have taught you how to do some algebra. In Algebra 2, we leave a lot of that behind. Because you're not going to have time to draw boxes and keep up in class and do all these little tricks. See, there's tons of cute tricks in factoring, by the way. I know maybe most of them. There's tons of cute tricks that your tutor might show you, or a video might show you, or your friend might go, look what my teacher taught me, that work, but are they going to be efficient? Are you going to have time to go over and draw some cute little thing and then keep up in the class that you're in as people are factoring really fast? So you remember, I'm your biggest cheerleader, okay? And if I think there's some cute little thing that's going to make you efficient, I'm going to be the first one to show you. I teach cute little things a lot in pre-calculus that are going to work every time, and they're going to make things faster, not slower. So if I know one, I know a couple, I'll show you, okay? Please do run by me things that you hear if you want to, but also have an open mind that maybe you're going to push forward and move a little faster. We call it a fluency in mathematics, to where you're keeping up with everybody else. Some of you will find yourself, your senior year, sitting in calculus class. You know, I just look at some students that I had in Algebra 2A and how far they've come into even some AP math classes. And then nobody's sitting going around a cute little box tricky thing. They're moving really fast, okay? So, and I want you to be able to do that too. Saying all of that, what if I said 20 and I said factor 20? Like I might think, oh, 4 will go into that 5 times. I'm unmultiplying. Do you see how I'm dividing it now? If I divide 20 by 4, what's left? 5. Am I through factoring? I've got to factor it completely. What goes into 4? 2. And I think in my head, oh, it would be 2 times 2, right? So when you put something on the outside, you're starting to actually make a factor tree. Like these two things are going to factor to be that big thing. Here's something I didn't know in Algebra 2, which I will share those things with you a lot, okay? Ironically, this weekend I was with 2 girls in my algebra class in the 9th grade. Wow. They're visiting New York. Happened to both be here for different reasons. And we all 3 had lunch together. And we were talking about Miss Hosh, our algebra teacher. It's kind of funny now that I stop and think about it. What I didn't know then is that this is actually a number. So just hold that thought. You may go, no, it's not. But just hold that thought, okay? If I take out a 2b, what's left here? Now, what about if Evelyn says, I have a dog? Then I'll say, well, do you have a sibling? Just because she has a dog doesn't take away the fact she still has a sibling, but maybe the rest of them don't have a sibling. So do you see how I'm looking to see what's left? All right, so I've taken out what they all have in common. And if you take it out, I'm dividing it out. I'm saying 4 divided by 2 is 2. And what's b cubed divided by b is b squared. That make sense? Okay. What's 2 divided by 2? 1. And b squared divided by b is b. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And what's b divided by b? They just cancel out, don't they? All right, now I've got a lot of drawing on here. You can double check this by doing this. What's 2b times 2b squared is 4b cubed. 2b times another b is 2b squared. And what's 2b times 4 is 8b. So do you see that it checks if I redistribute? Now, based on what we're doing today, maybe this thing can still be factored. We're going to be factoring some quadratics today, okay? And I'll show you all sorts of different ways to know if you should keep going. But right now, all I want to do is take out the most that you could in common. Does everybody on number 9 have 2b times 2b squared plus b plus 4? Yes. Okay, if you don't, correct it. So let me review one thing that I'm saying. Suppose I told you to factor 16. Raise your hand if you know some factors of 16. All right, Grazia?
Well, 8 and 2.
All right, so 8 and 2. But then what are factors of 8, Daniela?
4.
4 and 2. Anything else? I can factor 4 into what, Sarah? 2 and 2. So we might factor and factor and factor away. All right? Now, pay close attention. I'm going to rewrite the problem. 4b cubed plus 2b squared plus 8b is what we started with. And this is our answer. Okay? Eliza, give me a number for b. Just pick any number in the whole wide world.
6.
6. Thank you. All right? So I'm going to say 4 times 6 cubed plus 2 times 6 squared plus 8 times 6. All right, that is 216 times 4 right here. 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. That's 24. So if I did that right, that's 864. All right, now I'm going to figure this one out. 36 times 2 is 72. And 6 times 8, we all know, is 48. All right, so this gives me 14. I'm adding them all together. 14 and 4, I think that's 18. Possibly 984 if I added that right. 14. This is a 48. I couldn't see my own. Let's see. 13 and 5 is 18. Okay, I think that's right, 984. All right, now Eliza gave us 6 for B. I'm going to put it in my factors. Shouldn't these two things that I'm circling in yellow, those should equal each other? Because all I did was factor it, okay? So now I'm going to go into this one. I'm going to go 2 times 6 is 12, times 2 times 6 squared is 36, plus 6 plus, is that a 4? Plus 4. Keep watching. 16 times 72 plus 10. So I have 16 times 82. Let's say 82 times 16. Hang on, something's wrong. Or maybe I can't read my own writing. Oh, I'm sorry, B is 6. It is 2b times 2b squared plus b plus 4, right?
Yeah.
1b squared. All right, if b is 6, I hope I didn't mess this part up. We'll find out. If b is 6, 2 times 6 is 12. This is 2 times 36 plus b is 6 plus 4.
Aren't we just on
So hang on just a second. 12 times 82. All right, so I'm doing 82 times 12. All right, just bear with me. That's 164. That's a 2 and an 8. Watch this. So you would think maybe I was a magician or that Eliza and I talked ahead of time and she said 6. Did you see I filled 6 into the question and got 984? And I put 6 into our answer and what did I get? 984. Okay? I'm going to do another one. I'm going to let B be 1. I'm going to erase all of this and see if it still works. I'm going to let B be 1.
Is this just double checking your work?
No, I'm proving something to you. I already double checked my work by doing distribution.
So then, but aren't we just finding the GCF?
I'm not trying to factor or teach you anything right now. If y'all will pause for a minute and listen, I said that this in yellow is a number. What I didn't know in Algebra 2 is that that was a number. I just thought it had a bunch of letters in it. I didn't realize that it was really a number. When Eliza said B was 6, did y'all see it turned in, this whole thing turned into 984? Did y'all see what I mean? It stands for a number. So let me kind of back it down some and just sit. Don't take notes. Please sit and listen, okay? It could maybe change how you see things for the next 4 years. I'm going to let B be 1 just so it's smaller and you can see what's happening. If B is 1, 4 times 1 cubed plus 2 times 1 squared plus 8 times 1 is 4 plus 2 is 6, that's 14. This whole thing just equals little 14. What are the factors of 14?
7 times 2.
Right? Let's fill 1 in right here. What's 2 times 1? Do y'all see that I'm filling in 2 times b? What's 2 times 1? 2. And if I put 1 right here, I get 2 plus 1 plus 4. Guess what I get in the second parentheses? This one becomes a 2, sorry. Let's write it down. 2 times 1, 2 times 1 squared plus 1 plus 4. That's 2 times 2 plus 1 plus 4. What's 2 plus 1 plus 4? 7. Do you see I did get 2 times 7? I got 2 times 7. Okay? All right, let's do another one. My point that I'm doing right here is that you realize you really are factoring a number. I'm going to let B be 2 and move a little faster. If B is 2, that's going to be 32, 8, and 16. I think it's going to be 56. Who could give me factors of 56? 7 and 8?
Yeah.
Okay. So if B is 2, are we finished factoring, by the way, girls? Isn't that 2 and 4?
2.
And that's 2 and 2. Okay? If I put 2 in right here, I get 2 times 2 is 4. If I put 2 in right here, I'll get 2 times 4 is 8 plus 2 plus 4. I get 14. What are the factors of 14? 2 and 7. What are the factors of 4? 2 and 2. Do you see I got all the same factors? That's what I'm trying to show you, okay? So this stands for a number that you are actually factoring. That stands for a number that you're actually factoring. The only reason that I took some time to do that is you're great at this. You'd go 2 times 50, 2 times 25, 5 times 5, right? Okay? So when we see things like this with letters in them, depending on what we want to fill in for X, we're still just factoring a number. We just don't know what the number's going to be yet. Okay? So I'll do it again in a minute, but let me move forward with factoring. All right, turn to your second page. Oh, by the way, let me pause. Any questions? Let me go back to my slides. Any questions? All right, Yana?
So, didn't you have to square the 2 and plug it in, like in the 2b squared?
I did. 2 squared is 4.
Okay.
Times 2 is this 8 right here.
Okay.
Any other questions so far? I'm assuming I signed that first page for homework. Has everybody done that entire first page? And we checked the answers, or? And you've done some Delta Math, I think, on it.
Yeah.
All right. Have we done the second page?
Yes.
Yes.
Let me see what the second page is. Gabby.
Like the second page, like
Oh, you haven't done that.
this part.
Oh, yeah, the back you've done.
Yeah.
All right, look at the second page for just a minute. And let's look at number 12. Number 12 is 4x times x minus 3y minus 2 times x minus 3y. I know, but there's a huge reason I'm doing this, because how many people miss this question on the exam? But thanks for reminding me. Okay? Bella's exactly right. Thank you. We did do this in class, but a whole lot of you miss it on the exam when I said factor. I saw many people be quiet, Ella. Many people in my class, sorry, Ella, I guess everyone was talking too. Many people in my class multiplied this out. I didn't say multiply it out, I said factor it. Okay? And so what you're doing is you're factoring, you're pulling things out, you're not putting them back together again. Just like if I said factor 50, wouldn't you say 2 times 25? You're looking at this and you're trying to factor it and break it down, not put it back together. First rule of factoring, Margot would tell us, is take out what's in common. Second thing I want to always do is this. Is everybody looking at the board? That's so scary. You better be scared of that minus sign. Some of you may have noticed. You might notice if you flip for your exam, you might have gotten a smiley face on it. You might notice that? Okay, great, because that meant you handled that minus sign correctly. Okay? All right, raise your hand if you can see what these have in common. All right, Bella?
X minus 3y.
All right, so you pull it out here because you're saying we all have it, okay? And then you're going to write what's left.
4x minus
4x, you pulled this out, so you have 4x minus 2. The big danger is that there could have been more back there that we have to like subtract, and I'll keep reiterating that. You don't need to worry about it a whole lot right now, but just be aware of it. And now I'm not finished factoring, so that's why I wanted to go back to this, and I may have let you leave that answer on your sheet like that. Did I? I think I did. 12 on the second.
Okay, on this one you did, but on 4 and on 14, because 15's different because it has like the sign in between the
That's the right
two.
problem, Yana.
You got it
Okay, girls. Two people were still talking when I was trying to get my question answered. Everybody look at number 12, if you can read my writing. Gabby has it right on her paper. I have it wrong on the board right now if I said factor. Okay? When I say factor, I mean factor completely. What did your lower school teacher mean when they said factor? And you said 3 times 6. Were you going to get a 100? What are you going to have to do with the 6? 2 times 3, right? Okay? So if it can still be factored, you're not finished. Do y'all see that this still has something in common? Just like this 6. Oh, that's even, so it's 2 times 3, right? What do these have in common? In this parentheses, what does that have in common? Do y'all see what I mean, girls? Are pointing at your paper at drawings. Y'all need to be with me, okay?
But isn't that just reversing like the original problem is? Because it's your
Bella, hang on just a minute. Thank you. What does this part that I squiggled blue under still have in common? A 2. So you're now going to pull that out. You're still factoring. So I take out a 2, and what's left now? A 2 out of a 4 is a 2x. And what's left if you take a 2 out of a 2? Not 0. What's 2 divided by 2 is 1. And that's the answer that Gabby's got on her paper that is correct. If you don't have that, write that down. Now, math teachers in the future and math books and Delta Math might write it like this. 2 times x minus 3y times 2x minus 1. A lot of times if you have a little bitty number, we just switch it out to the front. It's like this. What if Jillian says the factors of 18 are 3 times 2 times 3? That's correct. Could Grazia say 2 times 3 times 3? That's correct. Do y'all see what I mean? Somebody else might want to go 3 times 3 times 2. Daniela might like that one better. So lots of times in math, we've got a little bitty number. We just move it around and put it in the front. All right, Bella, I don't even know if you were asking a question. I think you were telling me something.
no.
But this is now completely factored. You're going to hear me stop a lot and go, girls, are you finished? Is it completely factored? Like this. If you said, oh, I can factor 100. If you could read that. I can factor 100. It's 20 times 5. You're not finished factoring. Do you see what I mean? What if you say, I can factor 14? It's 2 times 7. Are you finished factoring? Yes. You've gotten down to prime numbers. Okay? Any other comments? Grazia?
So when as the final answer, you say, 2 multiply 5.
I just started. I've circled it and started. This is your answer.
Yeah. So does the 2, wouldn't you have to put a parentheses around, right after 2 you put a parentheses, and after the last parentheses, or does the 2, even though it's only before the first,
You can multiply it to either one. Girls, look at Grazia's question, because I promise you, you're going to have this question one day. If I have 2 times, let's say, x plus y times a plus b. Her question is going to be your question one day. Is she supposed to multiply 2 times x plus y? Or 2 times a plus b? Or I think she's thinking 2 is times both of them, and I better indicate that. Let's multiply 3 numbers together. What if I say 4 times 2 times 3? Once I say 4 times 2 is 8, am I supposed to say 4 times 3 also? No. So Grazia, when I say something like this, once you say 2 times x plus y, you're done with the 2.
okay.
Now, if you had wanted to, you could have gone x plus y. You could have put the 2 times a plus b, but then there's 2 times a plus b. It's not 2 times all of them, okay? 4 times 2 is 8, times 3 is 24. What if somebody had said 2 times 3 times 4? They would say 2 times 3 is 6, and they're done with it. Times 4 is 24. So you kind of already knew that. What's 5 times a times b? Isn't that just 5ab? 5 times a, you're done with the 5. You just multiply in the order that you see them in, or the order someone wrote them in. Grazia?
So is it correct to say, like, 2 times x plus y times a plus b? Is that only 2 times x plus y?
Yeah.
And then is that, so it'd be
Once you get that product, then you multiply it times a plus b.
Oh, okay.
Just like that. Grazia, what would you do with this? What would you do with this right here?
Then you do,
You go 2 times 3 is 6.
yeah.
Then you multiply that product times 5. Same thing.
But then so if in number 12, if we did 2 times 2x minus 1, like as kind of one thing, why did we put the 2 at the front if it's supposed to be multiplying 2x minus 1?
Okay, because I just talked about all of that. Maybe you were thinking so much about your question you didn't realize that I was rewriting them in all sorts of different orders. Like you could say 4 times 2 times 3, but couldn't Rebecca say 2 times 3 times 4?
Yeah.
Couldn't Sarah go 2 times 4 times 3? So what I was saying, a lot of us put this little number in the front. So to answer your question, if you factored and you get x plus y times 6 times 2x plus 1. Suppose that's your factorization, okay, girls? Everybody watch. Grazia's question, you're going to have it, okay? You may not feel like it right now, but all of a sudden one time in homework you're going to go, oh yeah, I know why she was asking that. You can write it like that. Circle it, leave it on your paper forever. You're not going to see that in multiple choice on the ACT or, different things that I might give you. If you're looking at something online, they're not going to write it like that. I don't know why. It's sort of like capitalizing a sentence. Like, do you have to? I even try when I'm texting to respect people and capitalize their name if it doesn't capitalize it for me. I don't know if y'all do that also, but I just feel like that's respectful. It greatly depends, obviously, on who I'm texting. But I don't want to go Conception and with a little c, all right? So it's more of a formatting thing, but I got to get you used to it. Raise your hand if you know how you would probably see this on a multiple choice. Anybody have any idea how you'd probably, Daniela?
With the 6 in front of all of it.
6 times x plus y times 2x plus 1. So where Grazia's question is, she probably was going to multiply that 6 times that. When Daniela and I rearranged it, now Daniela's going to multiply 6 times that. But what's 2 times 3 times 4? What's 6 times 4? 24. What's 2 times 4 times 3? 8 times 3. What's 4 times 2 times 3? I mean, it doesn't matter what the order is. Once you've got three things multiplied together, you can rearrange it. Look at this. A, B, C. What if I say B times A times C? We're all going to get the same answer. Great question, Grazia. So do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Great question. You can reorder your products. Okay? All right, now we're skipping, so you might want to write yourself a note. Right now we're skipping page 3 that says solving literal equations. We are skipping that for right now. That kind of doesn't have to do with what I want to do right now. Like at all. Not kind of. So we're skipping that. And we're going to this page with a chart on it. Okay?
I have 2 questions on that.
Well, let me talk first before I answer any questions, okay? All right, so this is just like a game. Right now, don't even feel like you're in math class, but I'll be doing something with it. I'm going to go all the way down to 55. Y'all find it on your sheet. There's a 55 that's a product. I'll get this back to you in a minute, Gabby. So there's a product that's 55, and there's a sum that's negative 56, and we're going to think of the factors that make that happen. All right, so if we back up, before we do that one, or I'll do the next one. Let's do 48, or we'll do that one. All right, we have 48 and 14, 125, negative 49, 0, 7 and 8, 3 and negative 4, negative 28, and 3. Let's get that far, okay? Y'all ready? This one's pretty easy because I can't think of many factors that give me a product of 55. Can you think of many factors that give you I'm sorry, let me read. We haven't done this in a while, so let me read the directions for you. Find 2 factors whose product and sum is indicated. So when we started out on the first one, I think we wrote it down under negative 6. We had 3 times negative 2. And then if you add 3 and negative 2, you get 1. All right, so my first thought, girls, is 5 and 11. Did y'all think of 5 and 11? There's no way that's going to add up to a big old 56, is it? What are all the possibilities with the numbers 5? Don't write them down because they're wrong. Don't write down 5 and 11. If I add them, I get 16. If I subtract them, I get 6. Like I can't get up to 56. So I bet somebody knows some other factors of 55. Sarah?
I got negative 55 and negative 1.
Okay, so she thought of 1 and 55. Don't forget that. What do I say factors of 12? Many times you think of 3 times 4, 6 times 2, but also 1 and 12 work. Now 1 and 55 don't give her negative 56, so she made them both negative. Good, Sarah. And negative times a negative is a positive. Let's see if Sarah's done it. What's negative 1 times negative 55? Product of 55. Adam, she does get negative 56. Okay? I don't think I signed this for homework, so have y'all done this whole first column, or shall I keep on like we're keeping on right now? All right, let's do 48. Factors of 48. Raise your hand if you think you know factors of 48 that add to be 14. You can use some scratch paper. Bella?
6 and 8.
All right, 6 and 8. So 6 and 8. That's just going to be important later on. Notice that you found a product and a sum that fit both of those. And so you're starting to factor maybe without knowing it. Okay? Can anybody think of factors of 100 that give you 25? Raise your hand, don't just call them out. Factors of 100 that give you 25. I think of like 2 times 50. That's not going to give me 25, is it? Give me 52 or 48. Jillian? 20 and 5. Okay? Factors of negative 49 that give you 7. That give you 0. I just told you the answer. Factors of negative 49 that add to be 0. Bella?
Negative 7 and positive 7.
Negative 7 and positive 7. They multiply to be negative 49, but they add to be 0. This one's really, really important. It's something called a difference of squares. Factors of 7 that add to be 8 is pretty easy. Factors of 7, the only ones I can think of are what? 7 and 1. And does that add to be 8? Factors of 3 that add to be negative 4. They've got to add it to be negative 4. It's like what Sarah did a little while ago. Somebody knew? Margot? Try it.
Okay. It's something with a net. Is it like 4 times?
Okay, first of all, factors of 3. You have to start there. I can only think of 2 factors of 3. Factors of 3. It's prime, so it's 1 and 3. All right, what's 1 plus 3 is not negative 4. How are you going to get a negative 4 out of that? Make them what? Which one? Both. Is that what you're going to say, Bailey?
Yes.
Make them both negative, and as a negative times a negative, a positive 3, and it adds to be negative 4. Sorry, I pushed that on, but I think I knew you'd understand it. All right, Bella, do you have negative 28 and
Yeah.
adds to be 3? What'd you get?
7 and negative 4.
Okay? Does everybody see what we're doing? Okay, so you get it just right. All right, now we may come back to that page in class sometime, but I think that's kind of overkill to do all of these. I think you got the idea. Now I want you to skip to page. We're going to go pretty far, so hang on. Skip to page 12. Page 12. Oh, wait, I may not want to be on page 12. Oh, yeah, I do. Well, no, I don't. We may come back to the packet if I, oh, okay. So now, we're going all the way to page 15. Page 15. And I know we just have a minute left, so hang on. All right, page 15. On page 15, I have 3n squared plus 7n minus 20. And 7a squared plus 48a. Okay? And I'm going to hurry, okay? If I let Eliza pick a number, all of a sudden, this would turn into a number like 48 or 24, okay, that we would factor. So what we're going to do is we're going to factor this, and girls, remember this whole sheet. I don't know if it even ever happens on the sheet. You definitely want to factor out what's in common first to make your life easier. And you pull it out and leave the little number outside. I don't see anything in common in the whole entire thing. A 3, a 7, a 20. These both have an N, but does this one have an N in it? So nothing in common, but please check it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to draw 2 parentheses, and you're going to play that game that we just played, okay? You're going to think of factors of one number that add up to be another number. I'm going to factor the 3. Okay, and I'm going to just make myself a note. I'm going to put down a 1 and a 3. And then I'm going to factor the 20. I'm going to worry about the negative in a minute. I'm going to factor the 20. What do y'all want to use for factors of 20? It could be 10 and 2 though, couldn't it? It could be 20 and 1. I'm going to try 4 and 5 first. Okay? In fact, let's just pause. Because I think it's time to go. And this is so important, I don't want to push it any further. So, your homework's going to be to watch a video that I send you on factoring, and probably this page, but I'll let you know on assignments. But a 99% chance you'll watch a little, like, I tell you what, here's the deal. I'll work the whole page on the video so you got your homework done while you're watching the video. Okay? So if you turn on the video, have your homework sheet out, page 15, and we'll do it together. Please be packing up and leaving, but I would say this. Later, after I do a few on video, you probably want to pause it and try some on your own and see if you're doing it right. Okay? In your best interest. So we'll do your homework together. Yeah.
It shouldn't take too long, but can I just ask you like one question on the final?